Commissioner Fulton, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Gentlemen, I'll go past time to read your minutes. I'll entertain a motion to accept or
I so moved. I'll second the motion.
motion been made and second to accept the minutes. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, I'll just go down the list on the agenda, and we have Rob Wohlrath. Did I pronounce that right? Wohlrath?
Volrath, yes.
Okay,
Very close.
come on up and have a seat. We always allow everyone to sit. We have 3 hot seats. If we need more, we'll get them.
Should I see that there?
Yeah.
The reason why, we have one commissioner that's so old he's hard of hearing. Just kidding.
Thanks for reading, I apologize. And this is Tony Apro, he's here with me. Tony Apro.
APRO.
A little easier, my last name.
I'll be real brief. My name is Tony Apro, and I am the president of this company, Perfection Group, right here. Bottom line is, what we do is do what we call an independent analysis of your buildings, facilities, and we look at your total operating costs. And what I mean by your operating costs, you look at your costs in order to maintain the structures in terms of utility consumption, water consumption, building envelope, controls, automation, what we call renewables, things that you can do in terms of green energy design, taking advantage of utility rebates with utility companies. And we look at your buildings and provide you analysis as to whether or not you can save money and improve your buildings and infrastructures in terms of looking at your lights and things like that, I just mentioned. The analysis is really just no more than your time in gathering some information, and our engineering staff and departments walking through the buildings and looking at some things, and what I would call looking at the low-hanging fruit, the things that you might be able to do to reduce your operating costs. Very simple process. We look at your utility bills and mostly your water consumption. You know, quite honestly, today water consumption is a real hot topic. Because what you use in terms of water and what you use in terms of sewage sometimes, in a lot of places today, is exceeding the cost of your electric and gas. We do that as a service to you and provide you preliminary recommendations. At that point in time, you can utilize legislation in the state of Indiana to request a proposal or request for qualifications. That allows you to look at different companies to perform the work for you. You might say, well, how do you do that perfection? Well, we sole source it. We provide you the analysis as well as we do the work to get you done. We do all the paperwork with the state in terms of getting you to apply for any utility grants that you may be able to receive along those lines, and upgrade the buildings. Lighting is huge. It's what they call low-hanging fruit. You may be familiar with it just in your own house, replacing the incandescent light bulbs with compact fluorescent, same thing in most of your buildings. Parking lot lighting is a hot topic today too. Even street lighting in your counties, townships. streets, street lights, and providing LED type lighting along those lines and saving money. The bottom line is you take your total utility consumption and you try to apply programs that will reduce that utility cost and pays for the upgrades. Make sense?
How'd you say it was you guys make money?
We make the money, we provide the services. So when not only do we do the engineering and the upfront utility analysis, when it comes time for you all to decide whether it's something you do, you usually would go through an RFP or RFQ type of process where you can pick the company that you feel most comfortable dealing with. We also do the work. So we would be that contractor. We're a little different as we sole source. We do all the work ourselves and provide you the service. We don't have to hire subcontractors. One key thing that we try to use is when some of the services provide, we like to use companies in your own community to do the work. So if it was a plumbers up in your community, or electrical contractors that can do the lighting, we would employ them. We'd act as a general contractor and as the construction manager, and as the company does the work for you. That's how we do it.
How big a county is Pickaway County?
Oh, it's a pretty good sized county.
And what's the population?
I think it's about 125,000.
How much do you save them?
That was a $3 million project, and they paid for it over 15 years, so it's roughly about, I think, about $200,000 per savings. They did some interesting things there. They put water source heat pumps in and actually used geothermal in the jail and the courthouse.
Then you did the Cincinnati, Ohio separately, or was that a county project too?
That was actually the city of Cincinnati where we did the fire stations and recreation centers, multiple buildings, 50 or so fire stations.
How much was the savings there approximately?
Now, that's a great question because we actually work through another contractor to do that. There are large energy services companies that you may have heard of, and actually there's one in Evansville, Indiana called ESG. We worked with them through that project. We teamed together on that one.
What was their savings? Approximately.
Lots of dollars. I'm saying it was probably in the millions, a couple $1 million.
Thank you.
That's how the program works.
What types of things can you envision being typical in a small county like this, where we have a courthouse and a jail?
Quite honestly, we find these to be very, very reasonably marketed approaches, largely because of some of the things you have an old courthouse. That's probably, I would say, on the historic register. Usually the things in the courthouse like that would probably be some water. I don't know what you've done in terms of, simple as flushless urinals, waterless urinals in some of the bathrooms.
Well, we've got outhouses.
I wasn't going to say this in front of this crowd, but we're based out of Cincinnati, Ohio, and I actually live in Lexington, Kentucky, but we had the same thing there. And I'm not a UK fan. But water's pretty good. Street lighting is good because you can replace current lights with LED lighting, and it's real efficient. Parking lot lighting, and quite honestly, in some of those older buildings, like the courthouse, your boilers, chill boil the way you heat the building. Sometimes they're relatively inefficient. Think of it this way. If you look at your house today, if you have a 10 or 15-year-old house, that unit that you have in your house today, and when it was built, might be an 8 to 10 SEER rating unit. They're making 15, 16 now, so the payback on a newer unit is really, really more efficient. And that's how you get it, the delta between the savings and the cost.
When I served on the city council years ago, we were told that yellow lights get more illumination than white, and they said they prove it. I still cannot believe that. I drove to Borden who had the yellow lights. Is that really true? Can you prove that?
I had a demonstration actually yesterday with something similar to that on lights, and I'm not very technical. but I could find that, I'd answer that question.
I'd like to know, because I still
Get-
haven't made a believer out of me yet.
Lots of these counties, for instance, Auglaize County in Wapakoneta, Ohio, where Neil Armstrong's from, their driving factor was replacing the windows in the courthouse. It had a 100-year-old building, in the windows, you could hear them rattling as the cars went by, and that was a driver of getting the process. And the key around that is you can do savings things that have high savings and help pay for the things that you might need. So the windows would be something, take the low-hanging fruit, replace the lights, you get instant savings, and use that to help fund the sources of everything.
Are your estimates, recommendations free or you charge?
Yes, sir. What we would do is after we would do a preliminary analysis, we'd sit down with you or whoever, and we'd give you a shopping list. And the shopping list would consist of replace windows in the courthouse, cost, $5,000, savings $4,000, 1.25-year payback. And you get to look and pick and choose. Keep in mind, these programs are for you. You need to be comfortable, be co-author them, what the things that you want to get done. Great question. So the process would be as simple as that. If you had an interest, generally, you think about it for a meeting, have another meeting and say, hey, Perfection Group looks like they know what they're doing, have them come in and do an analysis. The analysis is free. Review the legislation in the state of Indiana and make a determination of which way you'd like to go.
What about on the proposed structure? Because we're in the process of looking at expanding our jail. And it's not built yet, but can you look at the architectural plans?
Yes. Well, I'll tell you this, we are a design-build contractor. So when we look at a building, we can look at the building from the construction stage through the design, what is it that you actually want, through the implementation stage, the building, then through the ongoing service-related stage, and then what the last part of it is called retro commissioning. How do you get the best use of that building 10 years after it's built? In most cases, this building here, I'd estimate less than 10 years. 10 years old.
10.
You know,
Right at 10.
right at 10.
Yes, you.
Or more.
Really?
More than.
Quite honestly, a lot of companies that manufacture equipment think the best way to do it is replace that equipment that you have with newer, more efficient. Retro commissioning is a buzzword in the industry today that says, hey, take what you got, don't spend that money, and upgrade it and keep it running and extend the useful life maybe for another 5 to 7 years. Helps you save money in your pocket and then plan for the eventuality of replacing it down the road. We're more of a consultant and a co-author, sponsor, and a program supporter of yours. We're vendor neutral. If you like Trane, Carrier, we have working relationships with all the equipment manufacturers on the control side and on the HVAC. Renewables I'll tell you this, renewables have a high interest level. What I mean by renewables, if you know you can put a solar panel on the back of the building to heat your water, a lot of people like that. A lot of people think that's good because you're green. Where a green building contractor, costs their green sometimes far exceeds the useful life of it. Green means it's sometimes added cost. Make sense?
Say we called you in for a study, to go ahead and proceed with the study. You would take in all county facilities?
Yes, sir. We would generally look at every building in your county that has what I
We're
would.
responsible for it?
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
you're talking all the way from Delaney Park, all the way through. Gerald showed me a list of all our, I didn't realize we had that many county buildings. We got a bunch. So you would do a complete study. It wouldn't be sectioned. It'd just be a complete study of the whole thing and then present it to us.
Visualize this. We would probably have what I would call a performance engineer, a guy that technically, he has the degree in the background. He would walk through and look at things, categorize stuff, look at it, take a picture, look at the age of the equipment, how you're using the building, and come back and give you a list of 5 or 6 recommendations per building. Quite honestly, if you have an outbuilding that's less than 1,000 square feet, may not have much to do. But I have seen things recently where People burn fuel oil in their buses. We're recycling the oil and using it to heat some of their buildings. Pretty interesting things. I've actually seen Energy Misers go on vending machines now that you can turn them off and cycle them back at the end of the evenings and help you save money. There's all kinds of interesting things going on there today.
Okay.
All right?
Any other questions?
I'll leave you my card. I've been with the company 18 years. I've been president for 5.
You all want to
You're
make
Bob.
I'm Tony.
You're Bob. You're Bob.
He's
You're
Rob.
Bob.
I'm kind of the greater guy, the older guy that's been around the block. Well, I've been in this business for 30 years.
Is there, how much grant money is available for upgrades and things like this? Is this something you're seeing funding that we can get to help pay for this?
Good question. About a year and a half, 2 years ago, Lynn, you might have recalled the stimulus package going around. There was several $1 million of grant money available. That's somewhat dried up. What happened after that, a lot of the utility companies jumped on the bandwagon. And what they did is they helped provide you grants and utility rebates. There are rebates, and I'll check with your utility company. Who do you have here? Is it, who is your electric company? Duke? Duke? Great. I do know Duke. Duke has a rebate program effective through July 1st of this year on lighting retrofits. So, and they're fairly attractive, to be honest with you. They actually write you a check back. And it's kind of nice. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you.
Just get
Well,
in
you
touch
really
with
had a presentation.
Yeah, right? And you know what, another thing, well, is I'd be willing to come in and show you visually on a PowerPoint or on an iPad, a little iPad, 6 or 7 slides that walk you completely through the process. And I'll check on your legislation for you. Okay?
You all want to proceed with this? I mean, I don't see a problem.
I don't really see a problem with it either. I mean, if we can save money, you like a good way to go.
Preliminary analysis.
I mean, if the analysis doesn't cost us any money, I mean, I'm for making a motion. Yeah, I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Go through with it.
Okay, motion been made and seconded. We're going to go to a perfection group to do the study. Any other questions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. When do you begin?
I'll tell you what, I'll have Rob send you a list. We'd like to get some utility bills, obviously. That's the first thing we do. And by the way, if your homeowner is here, this is a good way to look at this. Take the cost of your utilities per year, you know, your gas, your electric, whatever the total is, divide it by the square foot. If the square footage cost per utility is over $1.25 a square foot, there's usually something you can do to save money. And I would sense that that's probably where you are. So we would need some utility bills. I'll have Rob do a timeline, and I'd say within the next 2 weeks we could do a preliminary survey. So then I'd come back with Rob and we report the findings in a very casual manner, just like this.
Okay, should I get in contact with schedule that?
The auditor's office.
Others on.
Is that 125 for water and electric?
Gas and electric usually.
Gas and electric.
Yeah, now your houses are generally
that number.
they're fairly more efficient than commercial buildings.
Yeah, I stopped over there.
It's
interesting. And that, we'll do all that for you. We'll show you. You know, so one outbuilding unit cost might be $5,000. And just put it in perspective, if you're spending $4,000 on utilities,
48205.
What's the last one?
48205. 883 St. Peter's.
Is there someone over there in particular I should ask?
There'll be somebody there all the time.
Okay,
thank you.
thank you.
Thank you all.
Philip McClellan.
How we doing today?
Hey, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing all right. I'm here on behalf of the 4-H Lucky Leathers. I'm helping out with them this year. Last year, the hydrant broke that we usually water the arena with. We're getting ready to have some shows starting in the end of April. So I talked to Gerald. He said I needed to put it in front of you guys to see if we can get that hydrant replaced. I've talked to Dave Bauer, and he said that we could work together. I also work for the city. What I propose is if y'all would buy the hydrant, which usually costs $750, I've got one 2-inch flush hydrant for $450. The guy's giving us a discount since it's for the 4-H fairgrounds. And Dave Bauer said the water department will put it in. Come to my acknowledgement yesterday, I guess there's another leak on that line. I thought while we're down there doing that, if we can find the other leak, we'll go and repair that for you as well. I didn't know if that would be something that we could do this year. I'd like to have it in before April. Takes about a week to get the hydrant.
You're not gonna get it in before April.
Well, at the end of April, is what I mean, end of April. But anyways, I talked to Dave Bauer. He said if they'll go for it, let's do it. So,
No, I think that's,
We have to support our young people in 4-H. It's you, John. I'll make the motion that we approve this.
And I'll get you-
$450 of it,
Yes.
$450 replacement of our hydrant, or the water hydrant, fairgrounds for Serena.
Paid for from,
is there money in the fairground?
yes, I believe they did make a profit this year. And also the livestock, which I don't know if y'all pulled out of that. They made money this year too.
we give them so much a year, don't we, Sarah, for,
$8,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we have a $25,000 in there for maintenance and stuff.
we give them something for
We have
maintenance?
a $25,000.
Yeah, to be taken out of our $25,000 maintenance fund.
Okay. Do I need to get with you, Sarah, and get the bill to you?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Do I have a second?
No, that's,
Okay. Motion been made and second. Go ahead and proceed to the water hydrant. All in favor, raise your right hand. All the same sign.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
You know, Jack,
Yes, that's I'm doing good. You?
good job.
Thank you. You all have a good day.
too.
Stand by, is back here. She's a little fixtures.
Desi's gonna have to leave. Jill, Cecilia, can I put Desi in front of you real quick?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just here with them.
Oh, you're with them?
I mean, they wanted me to be here, so I don't really have anything to bring up.
Yeah, because I know you gotta be at Pekin at 10.
Yeah.
Okay, well, all three of you come on up, we got a seat for all of you.
You got it all for you.
And I talked to, if she needs to leave, I talked to her before we could come in about this. I got a call from the Polis Center and an email from Indiana Department of Homeland Security with regard to your multi-hazard mitigation plan. We were just getting ready to start those meetings when the disaster came through. And so we put those on hold, but now what Homeland Security would like for us to do is to expedite this process, because with the Public Assistance Disaster Declaration comes hazard mitigation funds, generally. They set aside so much for hazard mitigation. Unless your plan is in place and approved by FEMA, you're not eligible to receive any of that hazard mitigation money. So they have kind of gotten approval, the Polis Center has, in working with Indiana Department of Homeland Security to expedite the process. Instead of 6 meetings total, or 5 meetings total, there'll be 2 meetings plus 1 public meeting. So we have 3 meetings. And they want to start that sooner rather than later so that you have an opportunity to look at your mitigation options for this type of disaster plus any other, and then possibly apply for mitigation funds to help meet some of those goals that you have. An example would be when we take the tornado, it could be that you want more notification, maybe you need more sirens in the county. That's an easy mitigation step. Or it could be that you don't have, if you have a high population of mobile homes, like some communities do, they have a lot of mobile home parks, then they may need a shelter for those people to go to. Since it's 20 ago, maybe that's something. Or flooding, or, I mean, we go through all of it and do mitigation actions for each type of disaster. But since this is kind of timely, we wanted to push it forward. I've spoken with Desi, he said before this, and we're looking at starting those meetings. She's got her team set up, and that was already in place, not next week, but the week after. Just kind of nailing down a date to get those things started and get this done sooner than the end of this year.
So you have some dates set up then?
Desi's going to check her calendar, but sometime we're looking at the third week, and once she confirms what dates are good for her, then we can confirm with Polis Center what dates are good for them. They have a website set up that we can check their schedule, and then we can, set that up and notify all the team members and stuff. We thought we'd give her a break since she's been so busy and not having to attend any more meetings, but it looks like that's not going to happen.
Actually, I was thinking that maybe you were here and going to bring up something that Desi and her team has already done.
Oh,
Because, I mean, it just seems to me like every time we've had a meeting so far, somebody shows up and tells us, this is what we need
what
to
you need to
do.
do?
Desi usually interrupts and says, well, that's already done. Those guys have worked tremendously down there and worked together as a team with the volunteers, with the Indiana Department of Homeland Security, and with everyone else. And it seems like they're ahead of schedule on almost everything we get going. So that's good that we've got this, we can join right in, and maybe everything will be set. We are going to have a public meeting, a town meeting for Beacon residents on Wednesday, April the 11th at 6 o'clock, if I got that right, Desi. And that'll be for all the homeowners that were affected. Well, every individual that was affected by the tornado. We're asking every single one to show up. Desi's working on getting FEMA, Indiana Department of Homeland Security, pretty much the same crew that we had down there at the last town meeting, but we feel now that there's just a rebuild status beginning right now, and a lot of stress and a lot of different things are happening down there, so we want to have this meeting. Might be a good idea for you, maybe one of you guys to be there.
Well, the other thing that, more of what we can do to help is to find out what it is. I talked to Gary Nail yesterday at Beacon. I had to call into him for a little bit, and he said, I'm sorry, I'm finally getting back around to you, which there's some things that, maybe if we know things that you need, then we can get that through other channels that you're not already dealing with.
And this meeting may really
Yes.
furnish a lot of that information.
And we don't want you to, we know from dealing with you guys during some of the stuff in the 2008 disaster, and you've had one each year, not to this magnitude probably, but something each year, so you're up to speed on everything that you need to do, and, to get reimbursement and such, so. But if you need help with any of that stuff, we'll be glad to help you with that too. I just don't
So
want
we
you to
can-
miss out on your mitigation funds, because all the 4 other counties, to my knowledge, they already have approved mitigation plans. So,
We don't get,
no, that's what we were trying to do this year, to get you an approved mitigation plan. So
We can get
you
that
will,
done.
you will have one this year,
okay, good.
just
And
because.
we can count on at least one of you, if not both of you, be there
Yes.
Wednesday.
Mhm. Wednesday's, is that at the town hall, or is that somewhere else?
That'd be at Beacon High School.
Beacon High School,
Eastern
okay.
High School.
What time? What time?
East Washington High School, 6 o'clock.
In the evening?
Yeah.
Okay.
The 11th, yeah, not tomorrow.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, April 11th.
And if any of you think of anything in the meantime, just, you can give us a call or send us an email or something. We're trying to keep track of what people need that may have not been taken care of during the initial recovery. A lot of things come to light after the fact, so that's where we can help you a little bit, and you might need a little bit more help. That's
Lots
all.
of people helped during this disaster, and I don't know whether Desi saw the paper this morning, but the Courier Journal quoted the Harrison County Commissioners as approving $50,000 for the county's disaster fund, and Washington County will be receiving part of that $50,000. And it said there would be a match, so it didn't say whether in kind could count as a match or not, but if it doesn't, we'll probably have to match it from a good county. I don't know whether you saw that in the paper this morning or not.
That's all I had about mitigation. I think Cecilia has something else on a different subject.
A couple other things
Okay.
on different subjects. First thing is Blue River Services. I need to get another change order signed and a draw signed. I thought I'd give you the status. They had one of the directors, Tammy, go up there and look at it. She said it's like a Taj Mahal. She said it's just beautiful, and everyone that goes and sees says it's just beautiful. So they're doing a fabulous job there. They estimate being finished on May 30th, which is only 2 weeks beyond what their original date was, and that was due to rain and disasters, things like that.
Everything happened.
Well, they had to change their plans in the beginning anyway, didn't they, to set it back to save some dollars?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Did they have to change the plans because of the,
Yes, they had to flip the building to avoid rock, and actually they've, it's not this change order, but the next change order, they actually encountered more rock, and they're gonna have another change order to get rid of some of that rock. So, what you can expect from here on out is today we're getting a change order and a draw request, and then there are potentially 1 to 2 more change orders, and then we'll, by June 30th, we'll have to do our final draw before then. So, we'll probably have 2 more draws at least.
So you got some papers for us to sign?
I do have some papers for you to sign. The first one is a change order in the amount of $10,563.98, and this is an ad. So, just need you to sign.
you say you're called to talk about?
I don't know what they're officially going to use.
I'll make a motion to sign that.
Motion made and seconded, we go ahead and sign this change order. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. I'll sign it.
The second one I'm presenting is the next draw for pay application number 7, in the amount of $146,693.98 is the total pay app. The amount of grant funds that we're requesting to be drawn is $64,687.64. $67,327.94 will be coming out of USDA, and then there will be $14,668.40 going into retainage.
Accept that.
Second.
Second.
Okay, motion been made and seconded. Ms. Plain Doctor, all those in favor, raise your right hand.
And while you're doing that, I know you have a lot of people to see today. I just want to bring up that we're still working on the Blue River Fire District, and if ever there were a project that deserved funding, this might be it, because I went to take pictures, and at first it was just an issue of not having enough room. You can see here where when they park, this is the tail end. That's a pole that supports the storage, and then this is the garage doors. They have to get in between those 2 spots. You can tell they missed a couple times, and there's also one that's outside. The water gets into the fuel tank and then can't start when they have a fire or what have you, and they have to stop and dump out the fuel and start again. So has that one bad enough? They have all kinds of water damage. They have black mold everywhere. You're in there more than a half an hour, you got headaches and problems. It's really bad. So I'm going to be talking with Marcia to see if we can do an article and ask the community to help. We're working with Washington County Community Foundation to get 25 points if we can get them to do a 2% match of the project. I've talked to Judy Johnson, and she suggested that we ask for 1% from them and get 1% of the community to donate to Washington County Community Foundation so we can get our full 2%. So I'm going to see if we can do an article and tell the community what the need is and how they can help, invite them to the public hearing, which is tentatively set for May 14th, and then ask for them to attend, let's see, what's it, third thing. Oh, if there's a need that they're aware of, that they can write a letter of need that I can include in the application. So, just gonna be working with Marcia to see if we can get more community support.
Where's the public hearing going to be?
Right now, it's at Beck's Mill store, not the actual store, but there's I guess they have a party place.
The building
Behind it, the building behind it, where they have that music and dance.
Okay.
Okay?
What's the date on?
It's tentatively May 14th.
14th,
At 7 o'clock. We might have to change that date because the announcement award, Washington County Community Foundation is after that, and I won't have time to get it in my public hearing notice, so I'm trying to see if we can't work around that, so.
That one project for West Posey, was West Posey that did the water project, and they were 1/10 of a point short. And I know I was on the Community Foundation Board at that time, and we kind of set a precedent. That's the first time it's ever been done, but we passed 2,500 if I remember, and that gave them 25 extra points to put them over. So the Community Foundation can help in that project too.
And I talked to our community liaison, and he said that 90% of the applicants in the category that we are in usually get Community Foundation points. So if you don't, you're already behind the game.
Right.
So it's important that we get that. And I know the foundation has been to some of our public hearing meetings, and they're supportive, but it requires an application, it requires community support. So thank you very much.
They give you our support. So we need to send a letter too, don't we, Cecilia? As commissioners, would it help?
You know what, I don't know that it would.
I think it would. I know when the West Posey thing, I got letters from the U.S. senators and Congressman Barron Hill at that time
Okay,
to
okay.
give. So I would think that any letter of support would help the project.
Yeah. Okay, that'd be great.
Thanks. You guys have any other questions for us?
I just have some questions.
And I do need to rephrase. I did leave a paper with Sarah that I need to signature on from you guys. And it was a paper that was left out of the grant. Last month that you signed, the paper that you signed. I forgot there was two, she's got it. So I just remembered that I didn't bring it.
We'll talk.
Do you want to do it and give it to her now, or wait till the end?
It doesn't matter. I don't have to have it right now.
Just don't want to forget.
Okay.
I've got a plane right here.
I'm going and
You said
sign
they had
it.
a question.
I did, can you kind of just fill us in on where you're at in the process of getting FEMA reimbursement? You know, what we're.
The IAs have been done, and I believe after yesterday's meeting, there was 50 that had came back, that they had
You said
received
IA?
back. That's the individual assistance.
Okay.
The individual assistance, you know, they went through the registration of it, and I know a lot of homes, individuals have already, FEMA's already been out for the assessment of their home, and is already in with, dealing with how much they get back. The PA, we got the public assistance, we did get that, and they came down last week and did an initial meeting with all the entities that was involved, and they're actually coming back today at 12:30 to do a kickoff. So they'll meet with all the entities today at 12:30, and then he'll talk to them a little bit individually to get kind of a feel of what they've got turned in and where they're at. And then they'll start to come back and go to each entity to start assessing the damages and the uses of the vehicle and everything that they've had that they've turned in so far. So that's kind of where we're at right now. The PA is kind of a little bit slower.
Sure.
The individual, they know these people lost their homes and stuff, and they want to get back in and get them back, you know, their life moving on as fast as they can. But the public assistance is a lot slower than the individual assistance. So, but they are coming down today to do an initial with each entity.
I'll be at that meeting, 12:30.
Okay. And then Meredith has been tracking all the volunteer side.
Yes, yes. We have, between Pete and Rhonda and Melissa, I mean, we've got record of all the volunteers, their check-in times, check-out times for in-kind use when, from day one. We started sign-up sheets day one, so.
Are people still signing up then for, I mean, well, we still.
Yes, yeah, we
sign up for
had
volunteers?
some groups come in this weekend, and actually we had one group come from out of county, I really can't remember where they were at.
There's a group from Fort Wayne, I know.
Okay, they came and spent the night, I know, this last weekend to do some work, and we are transitioning to the rebuild phase, as David mentioned. We are transitioning to that rebuild phase. There's a lot of people that are ready to put up homes and stuff in. So between their insurance money, FEMA money, and the monies that have been donated to help the individuals, we've started that process and started to look at each individual.
Something we're going to bring up a little bit later, and I wanted to share this with you, which is at some point in time, the county has got to draw the line on what we're going to haul off.
Right,
We're
right.
getting people dragging tree stumps, and
Yeah.
I think that's, when you get into tree stumps, that's not a urgent need, and the county can't,
Right.
you know.
And I just also, it was just told this morning that some of the ones that have been in maybe the hail damage affected areas have started bringing shingles to the edge of the roads and stuff. Now, when they have insurance and stuff, insurance will pay for the removal of all of that. And that's something that we probably ought to stress at the town hall meeting next Tuesday that, and I agree, John, I think we need to sit down and look, because I believe all the greenery has been removed that from the sides of the road and everything, so I think
Originally,
we do need to assess
we
that.
had staged the whole process of, and we
Right.
didn't attack it like the folks did down in Clark County. We didn't just scatter out. We tried to organize it the best we could. So the first thing we did was attack the greenery. In other words, the brush that was actually blocking the roads or was creating hazards for the people down in that area. We got rid of that. And the next was the construction debris. Which was the wood that we hauled over, and a big part of it can burn in his little furnace down. Boy, you are sunburned from that thing. You must be checking on it.
Too close.
Yeah. We burnt that stuff as much as we could, and I forget how many hundreds of loads that went through that. Then the last was the other debris, and that's kind of where we're at now, okay? We're not really looking at the safety issues as far as the public is concerned, because the safety issues are probably gone, okay? Right now, we're looking at just trying to clean up some areas, and help the folks out. So that's kind of where we're at now. A lot of the people are moving things out of the way so they can start the rebuilding process. So we are helping there, but you're right, Wednesday night, we need to bring that up, explain to the people, the safety part of it is pretty well under control. So now what we need to do is just move on. Let's get some type of normality back in these people's lives and get the mobile homes set where they need to be. I know there's 2 mobile homes donated that need to be moved in, but there are issues though that we really need to look at, which is septic systems in those areas and different things like that, which is going to be a big expense for some people.
I think all along, though, even at the last town hall meeting, the demolishing of your home and moving it out to the edge of the road was not what County Highway was covering. It was the actual debris, construction debris, the broken 2x4s, the pieces of plywood that the tornado had caused in your yard.
Yeah.
And that's what I know a couple of times I had stressed to people that it's not for tearing down your house and moving that, because if you've got insurance covers that, for that to happen. But that's where I think we need to do some more clarification.
We'll
too.
clarify that out, because I think that the message just kind of got dropped at that meeting. And probably because people were just worried about getting back home and figuring out what they were going to do. But I think that, it only stands to reason, you know, people's got to use a little common sense. You know, if you're going to rebuild, you got to make sure all the paperwork's there. You got to make sure all the permits are correct. You got to make sure your septic system matches, you know, what the state regulations are. You got to, you know, there's a lot of paperwork issues that I think just got looked over. So now, this meeting Wednesday will detail a lot of that.
Right.
That's why I'm hoping that there'll be the right people there, so we're going to try to get everybody that we can. Okay?
What about the mobile homes that were moved up Beverly? Has that been taken care of?
That's taken care of.
Gerald's taking care of that?
Yes.
You got 10 minutes to get to me, and nobody clock it. Troy, is he here? Troy Dennis is here. Troy's going to talk to us about an ambulance.
Yes. Of course, I guess quotes.
How many miles was that?
Well, road miles, about 120,000. Idle miles, about 300,000. And these are different options I'll go over with you guys.
You got 3 quotes, that's it?
Yes.
I'll make sure I got them all.
Yes. Unfortunately, the ambulance 0195, it's valves and head gaskets and the number 5 cylinder is shy. Talking to Bob Pointer, the guy that does most of our large maintenance work for engines and transmissions and things up there, he said probably all the idle hours from the previous years, he said there was 6 of them, 6.4 is our maintenance set idle around the clock. Now we've got a garage kept stored for about 3 years due to winter months from October to April. They just ran around the clock, keep them climatized. Plus diesel engines with those block heaters, we didn't have the best electrical system in the hospital, so that was most of the time the option to keep them running so that they wouldn't gel up and they'd be running in the end. The first quote from Bob Pointer Ford is to replace the engine, just a great engine coming from Ford, drop it in. It comes to around 16,000 some odd. He said, no, that doesn't, transmission, ball joints, and everything else is still, that's your same actual mileage and all that.
Looks to me like it's 18,000.
Yes, after parts and
Labor.
and everything included. Just the price of the engine is 16,000. MedTech and from Donnelly Fire Apparatus, they have an option of a remount, which would remount a new chassis to the existing box, which would pretty much give you a new ambulance, except it would keep the existing version of the patient department. With replacing the engine, we're looking at about 30 days time down there in Seymour with the remounts. Donnelly's in Indianapolis, and MedTech is in Elkhart, Indiana. And you're looking at about anywhere from 45 to 60 days with the conversion.
Well, I mean, really, everything is in decent shape other than the motor.
Yes.
So,
The box and patient departments are immaculate shape. Just,
Let's say Bob Pointer Ford's the way to go.
yeah, I mean, that would be a faster option. They've done workforce in the past, they've done a great job with it. Their turnaround time, very little repeat for the work and stuff they've done in the past. They've redone turbos and fuel injectors for us and things.
That looks the best to me.
Sarah, do you know if this ambulance is still, we're still paying on it? Do we know?
Yes.
How much, do you know how much is still owed on that loan?
I don't know if it'll be paid off this year, if it's got another year. I'm not sure how long
How long have we had that?
is it for?
I know it's at least 3 years.
I thought it was just about 5 years.
The hospital brought 2 at the same time.
Right, that's the ones we're still paying on. It's the 2.
Yeah.
The one is paid off. We're paying on the 2. I know we're just paying on the 2, but I can't remember what the date is then when it would be paid off.
Well, where would the money come from? That's the
That's what I thought.
That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, can we renew the note? And add another 18,000 to it?
I think we should take it out of some fund.
You've had one ambulance that's been sitting there and holding in case you need it, right?
We've got the older unit, yes.
The older unit's been sitting there in case it's needed.
Well, it's been put into use.
So
It's
you've
a
put it,
backup.
you've activated it since you've,
Yes.
listen, here's.
No. It's been activated from time to time anyway.
Yeah, we
It's
used
not-
it
it-
for
it
a
was
backup call
used.
truck, and we also use it for football games and racing events and things like that as well.
Okay.
But we have moved the front line of the fleet to offset that one that's out of service right now.
What do we have in River, I mean, is there funds available in Riverboat, Sarah, you think
What do we have to pay off besides the land acquisition? To come out of
that we
Riverboat?
haven't paid, if we paid the,
That's
paid
480.
the roof?
The roof,
Other
paying
than
the
30, we
roof.
still owe 30 on the roof, right?
Yes. And then you've got budgeted for paving out of the riverboat, which I guess if you want to use your paving money, then there you are. That's all that's left.
No, we can't do that. Troy, I need to look at it.
480.
I can't vote one way or the other.
Sure, I understand.
I need to look at it for the next couple of weeks. Number of issues, okay? One, I need to know if that's the cheapest repair that we can get, okay? I need to know that. Knox County will help us out, right? I mean, we've contracted them, and I know that during the disaster and other times that they've got enough machinery that they can come over here and help us out if need be.
Sure.
Okay, so we can operate at least 2 weeks.
Yeah, we have sufficient apparatus.
We can operate at least 2 weeks until we do some investigating. Would you agree with that? Would that be fair?
That's reasonable.
I just can't, I don't want to, it seems to me like every time we turn around, we're wanting to pull money out of the riverboat, or we're wanting to pull money out of this. Sometimes that well's going to run dry at some point. So we need to really look at it.
Sarah, we've been told the land acquisition be 480.
Yeah, around 500.
So if we give 200 for roads, that's 680. So
Yeah,
if-
well, that's the road.
So if we need to be able to be there when time comes to do it.
Well, we've,
Right now, all the riverboat money has been spoken for.
What else then? I mean, that's
Because
great.
you've got money for paving coming out of
paving.
riverboat. You put $500,000 in for paving. Now, my thing is, do you want to get rid of all of that?
No,
Okay, then you have no money in riverboat for anything. It's all
How much?
spoken for this year.
500 for paving.
Yes.
I would recommend to the board of commissioners today that
Just check
we
into it.
check this out for a couple of weeks to the next, and we'll give you an answer the next commissioner meeting. Is that all right with everybody?
get up.
You know, it's getting close to budget time. Dave's sitting right behind you, maybe if you're real friendly to him and Mark, we can get more money in the budget, I don't know.
We'll just turn that press on for you. We'll turn that press on for you. We'll just press up.
I think,
But I'd appreciate it, just a couple of weeks, let's take a look at this.
Yeah, we're running, we have backup and the loaner fleet that we can draw
Yeah.
from it. It's not hurting our responses or anything like that. It's
Yeah,
just,
well, that's one thing, that I was really worried about. I don't want to hurt, the response time or anything like that. I don't want to interfere with that. But sometimes, we need to just take a look at the funding.
sure.
That way it'll give us a couple of weeks to take a look at it, and then we know comfortably what we do. Just a better decision, okay?
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Troy,
Thanks,
who
Doug.
did you get just for the rebuild? You just got 2 estimates?
There's a company in Georgia, Georgia Power Stroke, that rebuilds those 6.0s. He never gave me a formal quote, it was mostly a telephone conversation. He said without taking a look at it, he was pretty much about close to what Bob Pointer was for rebuilding. And it's about 25 miles northeast of Atlanta. He was another recommendation that the stewards that does our maintenance and stuff recommended. It's either a Ford dealership that works on ambulances or a Georgia Power Stroke.
Similar, be closer,
Is that unique to, like it's just a Jasper rebuilt engine? Is there something unique about these 6.0s?
Well, they're leaning more to get away from the Jasper engines, from my understanding, is pretty much about the same equivalent. It's just a different brand. They rebuild them to the specifications of Ford. A lot of them are now going to gasoline engines and stuff, trying to get away from the diesel power strokes and things. All the different ambulances. Jasper, I can do a little research about those. Most companies just deal strictly Ford.
Well, it's my understanding that what they do is they've got they'll take a Ford that's been rebuilt off their shelf, replace it with what you've got, then they'll take that one they took from there, rebuild it, and put it on the shelf. It's a Chevy engine, it's no more, it's no less, it's just built. Right.
It's their brand of that existing unit.
No, it's the Ford engine. It's a 302 or whatever. It's a 305 Chevy. They'll take that and rebuild it to the same specifications it had before, rebore it and all that. It's not a different product. It's the same product because what you get is when they took out another Ford and rebuilt it while they replaced the prior one with a Ford. I think it's. Have I done enough gesturing up here? Does anybody in the audience, is anyone?
Well, that engine that he's talking about is a notorious bad engine.
Excellent.
Well, not that you got a lot of choice when you bought it, but this is what Ford chose to put in the frontline emergency vehicles.
All right. So we're gonna take this under advisement, I guess, for a couple of weeks.
I really think we'll do that.
That's wise.
I think we need.
We got time,
Yeah.
Sarah just dropped a bomb on me too for some more money, so.
Sure. I understand. All right. All right, thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Troy. Okay, we'll wait till it comes around. I don't want to dampen everybody. We're done with the agenda, but Dave, I think.
Yeah, we need to talk to you.
Dave, what?
Why don't we just sit here, we got all sorts of. Yeah. We'll talk loud enough for John to hear us
Okay.
up there.
Hey, let me fill everybody in.
Sure, go right.
The bid closing for the cleaning of Blue River, the tornado damage up and down Blue River, about a 3.5 mile strip. Trees blowing over into the river and the cleanup area. The bid letting closed at 2 o'clock yesterday. They opened the bids. We had 5 bidders, and they opened the bids. And the commissioners had appointed David Orr as our representative to coordinate this in turn with the county council's attorney, Mark. And they're here to make a recommendation. After they've reviewed all the bids from yesterday, they're here to make a recommendation today.
That's correct, Mr. President. We had 5 bids come in. We had 9 individuals or 9 companies that we sent them out to. TNT Disaster, Temple and Temple, Cornerstone Construction, R.L. Balkerson, I'm saying that right, B-U-C-K-S-O-N, and Dan Christiani, Excavating Construction, whatever he goes by. All sent in bids. TNT Disaster Services, and I know some of the bidders are here with us today behind me. TNT Disaster Services put in a bid of $190,530. Temple and Temple put in a bid of $247,913. Cornerstone Construction or Excavating put in $287,600. R.L. Fulkerson put in a bid of $378,000, and Dan Christiani put in a bid of $698,205.90. The lowest bid, as I've just reported, is TNT Disaster Services, $195.30. We are not recommending that bid. We have to look at, under the bid statutes, the most responsible and responsive bid. We do have concerns about that bid. We asked for access roads. TNT placed in their narrative of their work that they are experienced in doing the type of work we requested in Clark County, and they are working with another contractor, as a matter of fact, in Clark County right now, but they did not see the needs for access roads. NRCS has told us in their engineering specs that we are to put in access roads. So that is a concern to David and I in reviewing this bid. The engineer recommendations from NRCS had this project at $330,000. TNT Disasters bid is substantially less than that. And that gives us some concern in terms of looking at what is most responsible and responsive. The next lowest bid is Temple and Temple, $247,913. We have looked at that bid. We do know the character, reputation, integrity, and when I use those words, I'm not saying that TNT lacks any of those. Those are the words under the statutes. But we know the equipment inventory of Temple and Temple. We know that Temple and Temple has done this type of work in the past. We know Temple and Temple have manpower immediately on site to do things. So in looking at the overall bids between the two of them, particularly between those two and Cornerstone being the third lowest bid, we are recommending to you that you award the contract to Temple and Temple.
Mark, what was their estimate for the project?
Temple and Temple's?
No.
The NRCS.
The NRCS estimate was $330,300 was their estimate. I do have to give, as part of the agreement with NRCS, we have to give them copies of everyone's bid. When I go back today and say we have decided that we are going to let the bid to this company or that company, before they'll sign as part of their contract with the county, we have to provide them copies of all of the bids. And I'm sure that's
because they want to look over the bids as well with their engineering staff. So that's a concern to us.
NRCS.
NRCS.
Hi, I'm the owner of TNT, and I would certainly like to address the commission prior to you guys making a decision, if that's okay. And I want to speak to a couple of things. We are currently, and give you a little background on our company, we are a disaster response. We work all over the nation for municipalities, and that's all we do. We are currently working in Clark County under Dan Christiana Excavating. The initial linear footage in Clark County was assessed by NRCS at 31,000 linear feet. Of that, my company is clearing 16,220 feet of that project. Because I'm the subcontractor, I did that project for $10 a linear foot. We worked on that project for 11 days, and in 11 days, I have 1,000 feet left to go. That means I've averaged 1,475 linear feet per day, which is unheard of in our industry. As it applies to the access roads, in this contractual arrangement, NRCS allotted, there's 3 phases to this. They allot for rock to be delivered if needed for access roads. There was 11,220 linear feet pre-approved by NRCS for rock to be installed should it be needed. I did not say in my bid that we did not need to install access roads. What I said in our bid is that in our experience and in the experience in Clark County, there were 2 things. One is that your bid asked for the debris to be disposed of off-site. In clarifying with your contracting officer, disposal fees are extremely expensive. There was a concern of the financial impact on this community as expressed to me by David Orr. In efforts to give you a competitive price, we alleviated that need by the intention of burning. There is no need to put in 11,000 foot of access road. It's a waste of your money. It's a waste of time. Is there a possibility we're going to need to put some access? Absolutely. If you refer back to your NRCS documentation, it clearly says, contractors shall install access roads to provide limited access as needed. That's not money they're trying to just give you to throw away. It's money if you need that. We've not needed to put any access roads in. One of the things that I guess is upsetting to me in this situation, not one of our references has been contacted. The county commissioner has not been contacted. Prior to coming in here and just stepping over the fact that we bid this project, this is not a local bid, it's a federal bid. We pay federal tax dollars just like anyone else. We diligently came in here, gave you a bid, $57,383 less than your local guy. You don't know us. We do this for a living. You guys have references on us. We didn't start Clark County yesterday. I'm 1,000 feet from being finished. 16,220 feet I'm doing for 162,000. 14,000 feet I'm willing to do for 190. We not only can, we will do it. I take our company very personal. We have a very good reputation. Again, not one phone call has been made, not one to check a reference on our company. No one has drove over there, seen our quality of work. Prior to walking into this meeting, your client who was going to fund this project, my direct supervisor, which I provided you guys the cell number to, called me and said they can't fathom with the quality of work that we do that you guys would step over us and give $60,000 higher to award this contract. So that being said, it's your decision. I give you our commitment. I've never left the job not complete. I've never left the job that my client wasn't 1,000% satisfied ever in the industry, and I've been in this business many years. We've done NRCS work for 16 years, and we do it well. So I just tell you that for giving up $57,000, I assure you we can do the job, and I assure you if someone would take a minute to contact the people we work for in your next community. I mean, we put our money where our mouth is. Our job's almost complete, and we took on more than half of that project. We're 11 days into it.
Ken?
I'd like to just comment on the county's behalf there, talking about making phone calls. I went down and met with the homeowners down there. We walked the fields. Your company never talked to him one single time.
Would you like cell numbers to every landowner that I'm on?
Scott Lecter, I talked to him just before it comes to the meeting because.
He's not on my portion of the creek. I have
One
a
thing-
cell
one
phone
thing
number to
about it,
every
folks,
homeowner on my portion.
Excuse me, we're here to have a recommendation from our representative. We're not gonna be here to sit and discuss and argue what's going on. We would like to hear the facts. You know, you gave us your opinion. Ken, I'm gonna let you go ahead and give your opinion,
Okay,
but I don't want rebuttals.
I agree.
You know, I think that we're in a meeting, and I think it should be a discussion meeting so we can make the correct decision. So I want to hear from you,
Okay.
and then I want to hear back to Dave.
Yes.
Okay?
Okay, I did go ahead and meet with the homeowners down there, did decide what they wanted to do. Scott Lecter, and he said nobody had contacted him whatsoever. He is the majority of where this work is going to be done, is on his property. You know, Washington County here, got 50 employees, their unemployment run out April 1st. They have no work whatsoever. And then for a storm chaser to come in and take this county's money and run back to another state, I think is an injustice to the people that are paying the taxes that makes this building here be able to be open.
This is federal money, it's
And-
not local money.
And it's not your decision to decide to change the bid on how you think it should be. These people decided how the bid should be done. And nobody gets the opportunity to change it how they want to because they think they know what's best. That's Mark.
Okay, now, Dave?
All right, well, in Tara's defense, and then she called me at 9:30 on Monday morning, and the bid was to be let out at 2 o'clock. And she was in a rush as far as to put the bid together. And she didn't have enough time to actually go down and look at the site. But understanding between Clark County's job and our county, the ground conditions are quite different. The Clark County is an upland bottom, and what we've got to deal with is what we call lowland bottom, which the soil texture is quite different. So the specifications for our NRCS for road frontage was done according to what that land condition was as being as a lower bottom. And there was 4 criteria in the NRCS bid. And every one of the other contractors, except for this one, specified and put dollar amounts by each one of them. One was 14,400 linear feet of debris removal, 11,500 feet of access road, 6.6 acres of seeding, and 49.5 of repair. Of course, in talking to those landowners, we do not want to disturb their land. We want to do the least impact that we can. But understanding the situation, the access road, some of them come in from Dutchman Plain in that way, and the other ones come in from Training. If you had gone and looked at it, the Dutchman Lane project with the access road was not a road that needed to be moved. They put in because it was on the upper end of a bluff that they couldn't even work in on that side. So everything had to be worked on the lower end. If you look at it as maps, and if you visually look at things, there's probably only about one access road that really needs to be in there. And some of those bids showed that, you know, in their criteria. Now, Tara's bid, it says all 4 components, and it says $190,530. There is nothing listed for us to send to the state to have any criteria for the things for the linear feet removal, linear feet access road, seeding disturbed, or acres to repair for damage. It's not categorized at all. So we're going to be sending out the bid in there that says all 4 components in one lump sum.
But if I can speak to that, your bid is not a request for proposal, it is an invitation for bid. It asks for a lump sum price. I spoke with you specifically, and if I can speak to the fact, you are absolutely correct. I did not receive this bid package until 9:30 yesterday morning. I was certainly under the gun. I made it within 2 minutes of the cutoff. Not because I wasn't concerned on the project, and I had assessed this project way before your bid came out. I believe Mr. Mishler can tell you, I spoke with him last Tuesday. I had the commissioner of Clark County call and inquire on this project to Mr. Mishler on Friday. Was not told at that point the bid was out. I never received the bid. The only reason I knew the bid was out is because my NRCS supervisor showed up on my project and said he hoped that I got this job. I said, what job? considering I had followed up at 3 o'clock on Friday and didn't receive it. That, I was under the gun on the paperwork portion. We had been here and assessed the job. As far as access roads and as far as the components, he didn't ask for a breakdown. You know, federal bid law says give you what you asked for. That's what I gave you. You just said yourself, there may be a need for one access road. And I'll say this to you. We use track hose. Everybody here knows a track hose that's 1 pound per square foot. It can go into the bottom. You can take it in the bottom. I will say this too. If 11,220 feet the NRCS allotted for a road needs to be put in, I'll put it in for my price. They also said there is a part in yours, and don't quote me, it's 49,000 or 49 acres, I believe, for reclamation. Keep in mind, guys, they're not saying they're going to give you money to reclaim 49 acres. They're saying they'll give you money for up to 49 acres if we damage it. We're not damaging 49 acres. That's not hand-me-down money NRCS is going to give you. It's allotted if needed. If you go to my job or if you inquire about my job, very little bit we have caused very little damage. We've been a gate stay on the creek bank. It's going to happen. My track host is going to track it up. When I build a fire, it's going to track it up. But we're not dragging logs all over the fields and tearing them up in hopes to get some money. We take pride in what we do. When we do it right, we do it well. And there's no phase of this project for my amount of money that I will not do, not any.
You know, as we did this bid project, and we in there, I had this feeling that we would end up with oranges, apples, and bananas. And we did. We ended up with one quote quite a bit different, you know, on the lower end. Then we had one that was on the extreme end that was quite a bit overboard as far as what this project would even allow. And taking a look at this, I felt like we had oranges, we had 3 apples, and we had 1 banana. The 3 in the middle were very, very comparable in what they did, the price, and how they bid it out. And even the one with the banana, with the top bid, did it in this criteria as far as broke down that was put in the cost estimate. You know, I mean, to do the job's justice in there, and it was specified in there to walk the site, know what it is. Now, I understand that Tara's working on a project in Clark County, but this job is in Washington County with different soil textures and different layout than what she's got in Clark County. And I'm not saying she's not doing a good job in Clark County at all. But I have reservation, and my recommendation to you is to be responsive for the taxpayers in Washington County and the landowners that we're representing, that got easement. I went and got 15 easements, and I've talked to every one of these landowners that we're doing this project. And they are receptive to me to make sure that I think that we're doing a responsible job in there. I know what NRCS is asking for us to do as far as sending the information and the bid packet to them. And our recommendation is with a proposal that has all those that I feel like is criteria that NRCS will accept. I have questions that all 4 components with the lump sum figure in there is going to be adequate enough for that.
I have one closing statement and then I'll let you guys make a decision. Keep in mind, there are federal bidding guidelines. This was not, as you stated, a request for proposal. Had you chose to want to go local and stay local, you have an option to wait it and give some local preference. This was an invitation for bid, and under federal guidelines, unless you guys can find a legitimate reason to deem my company non-responsible, an invitation for bid goes to the low bidder.
I'm going to add a little bit to this. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, when all this started, Ruth Hackman called me. And this was a project to clean up Blue River from the tornado damage. I knew there was gonna be a number of farmers involved. I didn't know that there was gonna be an Indiana VAT involved and a deadline of April 1st that all this had to be done. Whenever we got the grant approved from Jane Hardesty, the meeting we had at Beacon, we pretty well had the money the next day. And I was under the understanding that we had 180 days to get this job done. And that was the way it was left. Well, the way I was thinking, 180 days, that meant we could go in there, we could send our county guys in around August when the ground's good and dry and we're in a real dry area and not damage anything and clean the river. Then I get a phone call that that fund was drained and the emergency fund was the money that it had to come out of, which was a lot faster deal. And then Ruth called me back and said, okay, now we got all these deadlines. We've got to meet them. Well, in turn, what I did is turned her over to our county attorney, Attorney Cyphers, whose plate was already full with some litigations and different things that we had already piled on him. So about a day later, I talked to Tom, who was about to self-destruct. And I was too, because I called Ruth back and said, we really got a problem here. We can't get all this done that you're wanting done. I mean, how do you do all this with such short notice by April 1st? And it became a nightmare. And so Ruth, I guess, probably had talked to Dave, since he's one on the board of the Soil and Water Conservation District. And Dave called me, fortunately him being on the county council, he called me and said I'd be glad to assist in this, because Dave being a farmer, a heck of a lot more knowledgeable, and he did call Mark and ask Mark to get involved, which just absolutely tickled me to death, him being a farmer and knowing Blue River and the areas. So that's how all this came about. That's how it all got, and those gentlemen there have worked, like Tom had told us earlier, that just day and night trying to get all this put together in such short notice, you know. And so I'm recommending to the board that we accept their recommendations, because they're the ones that have been out doing the groundwork, they're the ones that have done the footwork, they're the ones that are knowledgeable about this whole project. I'm definitely not. I was at the bid letting yesterday, but I'm definitely not. And we have counted on and relied on these two gentlemen to take care of this situation. So that's my recommendation. It's going to be up to you guys.
I'll make the recommendation. I'm ready for that.
You guys keep in mind that, again, there's federal bid laws, and I do have an attorney that's going to issue a TRO and stop work order on this contract, because you're outside the realm of that.
Got any irregular bid to start with?
We got to go this way. John made the recommendation John made a motion that we accept the recommendation of Dave and Mark. Do I hear a second?
I have to abstain from voting just because of
I'll second
business.
the motion. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Okay. Thank you. Gerald.
Yes. Couple things. There's a bridge project been going on Honey Creek Road, Bridge 209. Should be completed this week. Been going on 3 weeks. It's took back seat to everything's been happening this evening. It should be open. It's down in your area today, by the way. Hardinsburg area. But anyway, it's be completed this week, back on to the public. We'll resurface it. later on in the summer after it settles, and we'll redo it.
Okay. What's the number of that?
209. The greenery in Pekin seems to be slowing down. We're taking to the burn pit down there. This weekend, there'll probably be some more coming out. Being a holiday weekend, probably some families coming in. I can see, more for next week. We've been doing a lot of stumps. The end of last week in Gifton, going to the landfill. Most of those are coming from Rob's Lane and 335.
Okay. We need a projection on when we can shut off the burn pit. And we're going to have to start gradually, we're going to mention that Wednesday night to folks. We're going to have to start pulling some of the trucks. I mean, District 1 trucks can be there and available, from time to time. But we should be getting down to some level somewhere to where we can start pulling the trucks. So we got 2 other districts that Bowen's getting ready to start. There's going to be some weather turning to where we can start blacktopping. So we're going to have to start kind of filtering back. And Wednesday's meeting on April 11th, I think would be a good night. But if you would, I'm going to need some dates, some deadline dates on what you think on the projections. Think you can come up with that between now and next Wednesday?
I'll try to get an idea of
What
it looks like down there.
Okay, think you might be able to be at that meeting too? Okay.
As of the end of March, to the landfill, we hauled 791 tons. Just to the landfill alone.
But we're still okay on the cell?
Yes.
Yeah.
Most of that went to the organic.
Yeah.
Most of it.
Just thought I'd put that in there.
To the burn pit, the Ken set up down there for us, 117 tandem loads, 140 single axle loads. Now that's not counting what everybody else does, state, homeowners, some of their trucks. That's just what we own. A lot. That saved the landfill a bunch. Plus it saved us a bunch of truck fuel and whatever. Rick is doing pretty good. He is scheduled for surgery tomorrow on his stomach. They think there's something in there that's causing the fluid to build up. They don't think it's going to be a big deal, that they can go in pretty quick and be back out. He's doing rehab, walking. He's very weak, but he is doing pretty good.
Good. Where?
He's still clean. Yeah, he's still clean. I guess that's about all I got right now. We did have a backhoe go down on us from this deal. I'm not sure how bad yet. It's probably going to be serious. I'm not sure yet. I won't know. Probably next week. I guess that's all I got for now.
Don't forget, we got a 12:30 today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, FEMA will be at the highway garage at 12:30 today to start on some of the paperwork. Hopefully getting some money back toward this way. We spent a pretty big load already. I think the incinerator for Ken down there is probably 50,000 already. Not counting what we spent.
And we're hoping to get some of that for you, Ken. I really appreciate that too.
Oh, yeah,
We Ken and Temple, when we had the meeting down there and we needed the pit, we needed to be burning, we were under the gun. And Ken came to the meeting and he said, we'll apply through FEMA, we'll get what we can get. He's not gonna charge the taxpayer dollars to burn that. And I know that, well, the whole county is really appreciative of that, Ken. We appreciate that very much.
We've got our paperwork pretty well in order for FEMA, because we've been through this before. We should be in good shape, ready to go whenever they get here. Start working on it. I can see you leave that riverboat money alone. And that ant money. Let it go where it needs to go. I know there's some other things coming up. One of them roads gonna bite you.
Yeah, we had arrived at 150,000 for the courthouse.
Should I tell him now?
180.
As far as I know, that should come out of Cume Bridge, which means all bridge projects are gonna have to.
Go on hold.
Yes.
You know that bridge number?
113.
Bridge 113. Remember that one, gentlemen?
Oh, yeah.
Well, if you remember, we had to borrow money from the state to get this thing accomplished, okay? Well, guess what? While Troy was sitting there talking about a new ambulance and all this other stuff, Sarah elbows me and says, you know, we got a bill yesterday for that. How's $255,000, Greg?
Well,
So,
did we know that was coming?
Yeah.
we knew it was coming.
I guess it'd been so long, I
Well,
forgot.
2 years, so you had 2 years to pay it back.
I'd forgotten about
Yeah.
that.
That's why we really need to start tabling this stuff and taking a look, you know, because money, that's gonna be a chunk of change now. It's Cume Bridge, so I don't know if we got that much in there or not.
Well, right now we don't, but when we had new settlement, we might have enough, if we don't spend anything else out of Cume Bridge.
Well,
So what was that?
how much more are you planning on spending on Bridge 209?
It's, they paid part of that bill last year, I believe. There's like 25,000 left hold on it,
On that,
on 209.
would be okay?
I didn't say how much you said, Gerald.
There's about 25,000 left hold on it. We paid part of it last year.
Yeah.
I think there's,
You know, we're just
there's
gonna.
plenty there for that, I don't know.
I looked at the fund before yesterday when they got this, I looked at the fund, and I think we have right now, if there's, I don't know if there was any in the claims this time or not out of Cume Bridge, but we had like 176,000, I think, in the fund to Cume Bridge, so when we
But we have
get
no
settlement,
drawdown.
we'll have more in there, so, I mean, it's gonna,
You did it in June?
yes,
It's gonna be tight.
yeah.
So anyway, there.
I guess that has to be paid this year,
Yes, has to be paid by April 21st.
April 21st.
Yes.
Wow.
Sweet.
Anything else, Gerald?
I think that's enough for now.
Ken?
I'm good. I'm good.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
I'm Bill Shuttler. I am with PMSI. Actually, one of my guys called Sarah, and I didn't intend to talk today, but I will, since you brought up the issue about the jail. I kind of held back. We play, I'm good for something besides being a good euchre partner, so we play some euchre at AIC. One of the things that your first gentleman said was doing an assessment. And what we are, we're owner reps, and we do lots of jails. And we do that assessment of what it is that you, from, if you think about a construction manager builds things, we do a lot more on the front end, and we do a lot more on the back end. Like moving you in, helping you get a telephone system, security systems, physically moving you people and inmates and things like that. So more recently, one of our jobs was Elkhart County, which was a 1,100 bed project on 100 acres up there. It's kind of unique. You talk about your landfill. We heat that building using landfill gas, which was kind of a cool idea. So they save about $50,000 a month during the winter months using landfill gas to heat that. So I would love to come back and maybe do a presentation with you. I would love to maybe sit down and talk to you about design build
gentleman talked about design build. We do a lot of design build. That may be an option for you, it may not be an option for you. But I can almost guarantee you nobody's walked in and said, here's what you can do under the design build statute in Indiana. And it's been fairly successful where we've done that. We actually did the Sheriff's Administration building in Elkhart using that. So, again, I'll run up and pick up some information, drop it back to you, but I'd love to do that, but you guys had your plate so full with what's going on that I just really didn't want to come down and, so if you kind of maybe touch base with Sarah and tell me a good time to do that, and when you're not running from pillar to post, and give Tom a chance to catch up with his sleep and those kinds of things. So I'll give you a card and I'll pick up some information and bring it back it up.
But you've probably seen us all at the county's conference and the county commissioners conference. And,
So that's all I really had. So thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity.
First, beauty before age. Okay.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. April.
Mark? Good. Then Rhonda.
April 5th, Open Door Law Seminar. Katie's coming down. She's the one that's coming down this time again. It starts at 6:30, and hopefully it'll end way before 8:30, but that's how long we've got the building open. Grinder Switch is providing refreshments, woo-ha, and it's going to be interesting. I'm going to go ahead. One of my pet projects over the last 6 years has been the Economic Growth Partnership. And so,
Pekin Park?
Pekin Park
Community-
Shelter House.
Okay, all right.
Pekin
Wanna
Park
get that
Shelter. Yeah, huh?
I just wanted to get that in, make
Okay.
sure.
I could actually pull over and pick you up.
Well, I emailed you to make sure, but I never did get an answer.
Oh, well, I just figured you knew I got it. Well, you've been telling me I'm coming every time I see you.
Yeah, but I put that in there and I put a question mark, which meant it
Oh,
was a question, so you let me know.
as soon as I get home, I will
Well, that's all
respond to
right
that.
now, I know.
Okay. But a lot of, once again, it's best when both the organizations and the community know what the laws are. And I asked the other day, and Joseph had emailed back and said, well, I said, because the Economic Growth Partnership takes in so much tax money, are they liable for the open door laws? Okay. And he gave me a lawyer-like response, which is going to take me a while to read, and I may have Max read it for a little bit and then report back. And then he said, go to the Attorney General's office. But it looked like, on first blush, that if the first $100,000 that they take in, if most of that is tax money and community money, that they are liable for the open door laws, which means that they've been breaking the open door laws for the last, since the open door laws existed. Okay? So, if they aren't holding open meetings, and a lot of the problems that we've had with community interaction with them is their lack of communication with the community. And so, maybe this is something that they can go ahead and do and actually follow the open door laws and have open meetings that can be recorded, that are open to the public. But I have to check on that. I have to email some other lawyer, and they're going to give me some more lawyer stuff, and I'll work through that, and then I'll ask Katie Thursday night. But the open door laws are not to punish people who are in office. They're the most basic guideline that you can follow to communicate with the public. Now, I think we can do a lot better than the open door laws, and that's what I'm going to be pushing for, I guess, the rest of my life. But it's good to know the basics that you can and cannot do with the public. I mean, that's one of those things. So, anyway, 6:30 p.m., Grinder Switch is giving stuff away or having refreshments, and it's going to be a party. I tell you what. Yes.
I want to do a plug for it again. Katie does an excellent job. She's done it before. I was there last time. I won't be there this time. I'm coaching soccer again, so I've got a conflict. But if anybody wants some information on the open door law, this is not very long, but very efficient and informative.
I'll be there.
He says you can pick him up.
I know, well, I know where he lives.
Go back to sleep, John. Tom,
I don't have anything.
did I get everybody in the room?
I gotta go back to, Planning Commission, changing paths, okay? Planning Commission, we need to have a permission by the commissioners for Kerry Steele to have access to our think tank process, you know, to be able to develop some maps for us for our Planning Commission, dealing with KFOs and CFOs and some of our ag land use.
She's the consultant, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I
So
need,
you need our approval on that.
I need your approval.
Someone
I'll
want to
make a motion.
Second.
Okay, motion been made and second, all those in favor, raise your right hand. There you go.
So, do you need anything from us?
She said just a letter of saying that it had been approved by the commissioners, maybe signed by the president, saying that she has permission. It was WTH, I think is the licensing group for that, so we could have access. And Jeff Souter said he's going to work with
Who's writing the letter?
her. I guess I can.
Since you don't have anything to do, okay?
Well, it probably needs to come from us.
Well, if you could do that, I got a back meeting at 1 o'clock.
You are going to find out for me how to recognize an Indiana back tree.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm serious, I don't know how to.
I've heard of bat caves and stuff
I've
like
never
that.
heard of
Out there in Vernon, Dave, you got a lot of bats out there in Vernon, check with that.
Yeah, I know, but they're real short and squatty, and they're part of my relatives too.
One of
That's true.
You gonna put that in?
I'm just going to put it in the paper though.
It's on
They're
tape.
Mark and Stephen bats.
Tom said, what's he talking about?
My mind's going about 1,000 miles an hour right now. I'm keeping my mouth shut.
He can't comprehend what we're talking about.
But just, you know, the extension agent, they had the TV crew come up, and then they wanted to know where to go do a farm report at. And he said, well, go to Vernon Township. Of course, the county agent was firing fast, okay? So he said, well, you can go out to Vernon Township, and they got the Rosenbaums, bats, and the whores out there. Well, this little gal, she was really confused. The first thing she asked, does anybody have a common name? That's the reason we use nicknames.
I could say something, I don't want to say it. Might be true, might not be true.
And if you're down on Blue River, catch one of those hellbenders so I can see it.
Okay.
Would you?
All right.
See what it
It's
is?
salamander, right? Is that the extent?
They're actually lower. They're lower than us. They've already identified that the hellbender is from Fredericksburg down.
So we don't have to worry about them.
No.
Okay, just the bats. Okay. Good enough. Tom didn't have anything. John?
Another thing that was brought up at the Planning Commission meeting last night. We don't have a board of zoning appeals, BZA, yet, just because there's no need to have it because we haven't passed the ordinances yet. I mean, that's what we're working on. In the interim, the commissioners are gonna have to act as, basically, we are the body that
Enforces prior laws, ordinances that have been passed.
So, should we bring this, I'm just wondering if we should bring this, there's been a request. He was supposed to come to the plan commission meeting, he didn't. But we got a situation where somebody, can we just,
Well, I
can we
would
make it public?
I would contact him
Well,
Has to do with the number of feet away from the road right away. There's an existing business already there. He's wanting to put in additional temporary structure that would be equivalent to that same distance. But in our ordinances that we're codifying right now,
but let's get him contacted, and I don't know why he was on the plan commission. We contact him, but I think it's important before we present his case for him, that we allow him to come present his case for himself, okay? I think talking about things in the abstract is.
but that's just a reference.
Let me,
Little situation.
let's make contact with him through the plan commission, tell him.
Well, how long is it gonna take you to appoint this board of zoning appeals?
well, there's no reason.
I think you've got to have the zoning ordinance, and as part of
You gotta get all the ordinances approved first.
Yeah.
You're still working on that.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what Carrie Keller Steele did. That's what she's working on that with the thing map, and we're
Right.
working on an ordinance.
it's gonna be like the end of the year, may not even go until next year before it's presented. It's just a
All right.
long process, so in the interim, the commissioners are gonna have to make some of these calls on
Just walk it back.
that. Yeah. The only other thing I've got, I'm gonna contact Rumpkashai. We've got an issue on the bypass with the, going over Highway 160. You can't get big trucks and combines underneath that.
We discussed that last meeting, and you're gonna take care of that.
Yeah, I
Oh,
tried
okay.
once or twice, I'm still working on that.
All right. I think if they would just come down and look, I don't think it'd be a problem, but they're gonna have to, since they've got the overhead now, what they'll have to do is lower the road.
Out the, dig up the road.
Dig up the road.
Too late to.
I think that's part of the, considering the wear and tear that they're putting on the roads, their equipment, anyway, do you think that's part of the plan?
Well, it seems to me that, I don't know, people are gonna be farming now. I don't know, have they already got the structure over the top? I guess they do.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be pretty quick.
Yeah.
How tall is it?
Well, they're supposed to be in the clearance on the highways 13.6. Help me there. Does that sound right?
The problem is I think the clearance is there,
The front edge is.
but when you start going uphill, there's such a,
The road's heads on a grade uphill before you actually clear all the way under the clearance,
that's
13.6. So if you're in a semi and you've got like a 6-inch clearance, okay, and then you go under that and you start uphill, you still got 40 or 50 feet of semi left, it's gonna hit. Because it just starts uphill too quick. I don't think they figured in the amount of grade there, so actually the road's gonna have to be dug out at 13.6 up, and then before the grade starts and clear it. Just make sure you get out there enough that it would clear. Because a semi, I mean, I'm sure their semis use that road, right?
Sure.
And if that's the case, they'll hit.
Is this, have we measured that, or are we just,
I see, I think it
are we
looks
talking,
what you think.
No, but Jim Day has.
are we talking about something that we're hearing and
No, Jim had went out and measured it. He said the clearance is not the same. Well, the clearance is okay, 13.6, but the upgrade starts too quick to where the trailer, I mean, the semi itself, the tractor would go under a fine.
Back part.
But a 40 or 50 foot trailer is not gonna make it.
Is that on 160 or on the, whole back?
160.
160.
Everybody could have.
Not that far out, yeah, but yeah.
After the meeting, let's run out and look at it. We got time?
I think it looks worse than it is, but I could be wrong, because I've seen it there.
We'll go out and look at it. As soon as the meeting's over, we'll go out and look at it. I think I've got it.
That's all I've got.
Okay, John?
Yeah, I got a letter from Evelyn Harper Jackson, who's Indiana chairman of the Grave Location Project. She lives in DePaul, Indiana, and she had talked to Edith Key, who I knew from the ministry church over there near Marengo for many years. And Edith called me one morning, and she was requesting approval from our county that we would allow patriotic observance on the courthouse lawns and memorial markers. And she said the local paper has already told us that they would give us advanced publicity, and we cannot submit any until the final approval for the event. And I don't know whether Marcia knows anything about this or not. Evelyn Harper Jackson from DePaul, Indiana.
Hasn't talked to me, but she could have talked to Stephanie.
So she's talked to somebody there that said they had to have permission from us. And what they're planning is a program on June the 2nd, which is a Saturday. And she says in this letter she wrote to Sarah, if this request is honored, Indiana Daughters of 1812 will be hosting a program for public awareness of the many 1812 soldiers buried within this county. When the monument was first dedicated in September of 2000, there were only 30 known soldiers' names placed on the marker. Since then, with the Grave Location Project conducted by the Indiana Daughters of 1812, there have been at least 75 newly discovered soldiers, and this is an ongoing project. One of those soldiers, not on the marker, is my own great-grandfather, Theodore Catlin, who became a prominent figure in early Fredericksburg history, with even owning a ferry that crossed Blue River. We have chosen the Washington County site principally because this county has so many 1812 soldiers buried there, and the availability of the beautiful and meaningful monument. And she goes on to say that after the program's over, they're going to have a meal at Christie's on the square. And evidently she talked to Stephanie about this. She mentioned Stephanie in the letter. So we have to give them approval for this program, and I'm making a motion that we give the National Society of the United States Daughters of 1812 permission to have their program on June the 2nd of this year.
I'll second the motion.
Motion been made and seconded. We go ahead and grant this program, the National Society of the United States Daughters of Civil War, 1812, War of 1812. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Okay, what else you got, John?
That's all I have this time. Give it to Sarah. Sarah, will you email her and tell her we approved that today so she can go ahead and get over to Stephanie for publicity?
I really don't have anything other than the meeting next Wednesday, a week from Wednesday. And I would like to again say thank you very much to Dave and Mark for all the hurried up work that they've done through all this mess of cleaning up Blue River, and of course Gerald and all the county workers have done just an excellent job, and all the volunteers, and it's really been a blessing to see the people working together the way they have in this county. And the amount of accomplishments that's been done in such a short period of time. Hopefully this will keep going, we'll get some type of normality back to the folks down there in all the 9 areas that were affected, you know, around the Fredericksburg area. Get everybody back to normal as soon as possible. Takes that effort from everybody. Everybody's really holding on, doing good, even though sometimes tempers get a little stressed, a little tight, but still, you know, everybody's been working together real well and doing good, so I appreciate that. That's all I have, Sarah.
Just claims and payroll, and then this, if you sign it, is, you sign that.
I'll make a
But this was
motion.
what you did last.
Second, that we approve claims and payroll.
Okay, motion been made that we approve the claims and the payroll. Dan second, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Those same sign. Okay. Motion carried. What is this?
This, what did you sign last week for this? This is just a continuing of that was left out of what you had to sign.
Oh, this is the geographic systems. And we all have to sign it, right? Washington County, all 3 of us. Gentlemen, we got one more thing. This is the Indiana Office of Technology Geographic Information Systems. We need to get all that signed. This is what we did the last time, and we need to finish up.
Sarah, what was that bridge around again? Down there?
That we have to pay that got $255,000.
As I recall, that was a situation where, due to the time frame that it took, what was originally estimated early in the process had increased rather dramatically. And so we got, I guess maybe it was a loan to still qualify for the federal grant. But I think Commissioner Sullivan may have taken the lead on that. I had probably the best memory of it.
Yeah, I had to go back.
Increased quite a bit.
Okay, is there any other business coming before the Board of Commissioners? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion. Second.
Made. Adjourn.
Dave, can I talk to you?
Yeah. I'll give you these. I got cut short, but there's a couple of there's individuals.
You have Mark carried them with him, and I just want to make sure I
I got-
have it down right, I'm spelled right.
I've been talking with Humboldt about it, and they represent.
Yeah.
Okay.